Personal story segment tonight. Last year, the United States was ranked the third best place to live on the planet. This year, we've slipped to number 7. So what is the most attractive country? Wait for it. France, according to the International Living magazine people. Can you believe it? The Coneheads are thrilled. Joining us now from London, by the way, the UK did not even break into the top 10, Neil Sean, a radio guy and syndicated columnist who's right across the sea from France. France? I mean, why is France the best place on earth in which to live?
Well, the thing is, Bill, you see, anybody who's ever been to France, and particularly Paris, the way it's sold to you as a country is very much of elegance, chic, sophistication, you know. And for those, of course, Americans who have visited, they obviously do enjoy that particular country. And plus the fact you've also had in the last year this sort of emergence, if you like, of a relatively good-looking president and a very stunning ex-model wife, of course, Carla Bruni, which is possibly, I think, helped along to keep it going for at least the last 5 years.
Okay,
so
but
there is that sort of moment.
Let's talk lifestyle rather than PR. They cite the great health care in France. I mean, France is a quasi-socialistic country, provides cradle-to-grave entitlements, as most Western European nations do. Is the health care great there? If I get a cold in France, am I going to be thrilled with the way they treat me? Is that true?
It is, actually, on those factors, Bill, you're spot on, because they do really look after their people and obviously visitors and people who are wanting to actually go and live in their country.
Okay, so all right, so let's give France credit. They have a good healthcare system. Their transportation system is pretty good, although the tunnel thing collapsed and people were stranded in there. But the perception, and I think I'm right on this, not only among Americans, but among the British as well, is the French people are a bunch of rude people, and we really don't like to go there that much if we have to talk to them. So I don't know, you know, are the French rude? Are they unhappy people?
I'm glad you've brought that up, because here in Britain we do have this love-hate relationship with them, and we all perceive that, of course, you know, French people are slightly, shall we say, up in the air, a little bit toffee-nosed. They're not warm and friendly like Americans. But I was in Paris a couple of weeks ago, just prior to Christmas, and there was a different sort of attitude. I think the younger generation are more westernized, as it were, and see a warmth and a sort of difference in the way that...
I haven't been to France in a while.
I actually blame Americans for that. You've had too many Americans over there, and they kind of know what to do.
I hope so. You know, I hope we're making them nicer folks. Now, the USA slips to number 7 from 3, and the magazine says it's because of our economic woes, but our unemployment rate is actually lower than that of France. So why do you think we're slipping?
Well, over here, on a more of a sort of dramatic note, can I say, you know, we kind of feel that when your president, the lovely Mr. Obama, took office, of course, just over a year ago, there were so many great things expected, you know. I was sort of saying to one of your producers earlier on, it was almost like he's Superman, he's flying in, and he's going to save the world, and he'll just start by solving the green problem right now. And when that doesn't happen, of course, it's this anticlimax, and I do kind of feel like no matter what the poor guy did, it was never going to be enough.
But isn't it ironic, though, Neil? Isn't it ironic that the United States scored higher in best place to live under President Bush, who was loathed by many in Europe, than under Obama? Isn't it ironic that we've slipped 4 points?
I think only time will tell. I mean, President Bush, you know, over in England was very, you know, well liked. So I think that was another counterfactor. But I think President Obama is going to do great things for you. And I think eventually let him bed in. He's had a year. But the only downside, I've got to tell you, Bill, we saw recently some pictures of the president enjoying an ice cream. And he was, you know, without the tie, and he was very sort of playing it down. And then when he was talking about the you know, bomber situation on the airplane recently, he wasn't wearing a tie then. That doesn't go down well over here.
Yeah, but he's in Hawaii, and it's against the
slick
law in Hawaii to wear a tie, so I think everybody should explain it. All right, now I just want to run down real quick. The best places, we said France, Australia 2nd. Australia's a very nice place to live. Switzerland 3rd. Love Switzerland. Everything works. Germany 4th. I would contest that.
My pipes picked out.
Yeah.
Sorry, Bill.
Germany, you know. New Zealand I haven't been to. Luxembourg is just like 1 mile wide, so I don't know. You can't get too many people in there. Belgium 8th. Canada 9. Italy 10. UK 25. Now, Neil, I lived in London for a year. But Britain, the 25th, you know, I think they're... What's going on? Why did you guys... What's happening?
Do you know, as I say, Bill, we love you Americans, and I love the fact that you're embracing it so warmly. You know, I'm blaming Gordon Brown, right? I'm blaming
That's
the
good.
recession. I'm blaming the bad weather. Yeah, let's just blame him. No, on a serious note,
I'm blaming that singer with all the tattoos, that crazy woman. What's her name? Tell me in my ear what's her name is.
Oh, Amy Winehouse.
Winehouse.
Yeah.
Amy
Not
Winehouse. I'm blaming her. And we get one look at Amy Winehouse and we go, we don't want to live in where she lives. That's her fault. That's.
Well, if you don't behave, I'm going to send her over to live next door to you. I think that, yeah, we've had a bad rap. But like the United States, we've got a chance to climb that chart. And I'm sure this time next year, we'll be chatting and saying, guess what? You're number one, we're number two. Couldn't be better.
25th. UK. Mr. Sean, as always, Happy New Year. Plenty more ahead as the factor moves along this evening. Nancy Pelosi takes a verbal shot at President Obama. Where do you see this? Body language analyst. And then Dennis Miller on how President Obama is handling the terror threat. And Miller also wants to address the underwear bomber. We hope you stay tuned for those reports.
Sensitive teeth can